All right, it is now official. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have a new head coach, Dirk Koetter. They fired Lovie Smith about 8 days ago. Marissa Lynn joining me in the studio. Dirk Koetter is now the man, and he seems to be following you wherever you go. You were in Atlanta for 2 seasons when Koetter was the offensive coordinator up there for the Falcons and Matt Ryan. You come down here, he comes down here, and he did a tremendous job, Marissa, in his first year here with the Buccaneers.
Absolutely. You saw what Jameis Winston did, 4,000+ yards, up for Rookie of the Year. I mean, you couldn't have asked for a better guy to come in and work with the rookie quarterback in Jameis Winston. Just a fabulous year. He was, he had some issues with the run game, whether or not to use Doug Martin in those second halves, but I think he really learned from that.
Here's the deal. Now he goes from offensive coordinator to a head coach. He's never been a head coach in the NFL. He's been a head coach a couple of times in college football. But you've seen him now for 4 straight years. What does he bring to that position when he changes headsets and takes over the entire team, not just the offense?
What I really enjoyed about covering Dirk Koetter is that he is a player's coach. He gets them, they get him. He's a guy that's going to be honest, and they're going to be players are able to be honest with him. And I think what really is great about Dirk Koetter is the fact that he doesn't come in with a certain scheme. He comes in with the fact that he has this set of players. He's going to do whatever he can to make whatever the Bucs need to do work for them, not the other way around.
I think that's a good point because he had 2 offensive rookies in that line playing critical positions. Obviously, everybody knows about the job he did with Jameis Winston. And then with a tattered receiving core, I mean, Vincent Jackson got hurt and Murphy was gone, and we know the injuries. The running back combination he had was the best in the NFL. In terms of who he brings in as a defensive coordinator, now I know he worked under Mike Smith in Atlanta. Smith is a 3-time coach of the year, was a defensive coordinator for about 4 or 5 years with the Jags. Does he come in?
You have to think so. I know a lot of people are like, that's got to be like a weird dynamic to bring in the guy that you were under in Atlanta. But you got to think that he is the guy. I mean, he's been out a year. I know that. He spent Mike Smith spent his year off writing a book talking about the things that went wrong in Atlanta those last 2 seasons that they were together. And I think they both have really learned what happened there and the culture that it wasn't working for them anymore. And I think that they want another shot to hopefully bring a championship maybe here to Tampa Bay.
I would not mind seeing that. I think that's actually a pretty good combination that just might work. All right, let's toss it back to Chris and Cynthia. Guys?